our friends on YouTube. Hello there, YouTube. Welcome to Politics Matter JA, where the conversations matter. Please share the like and tap the screen as you join. And of course, let's see if we can head on up to 10 o'clock. Now, the Cooper's, what is it? The Cooper's, that matter over there in Cooper's Pen. Give me a second. Let me just type that in right here on my stream. Cooper's Pen demolition. Want to spend a little time on that. There is so much to say on it, and there is so much that is not said that needs to be said. Give me a second there. Okay, great. We should have that ready for you. Now, the member of parliament for Trelawney Northern, Miss Tova Hamilton, issued this statement today.
Yesterday was a painful and a heartbreaking day for the people of Cooper's Pen. And today I want to speak to it directly, not only as the Member of Parliament for Trelawney Northern, but as someone who stood with these families yesterday, saw their pain firsthand, and believe the public deserves to know what transpired. First, I want to make something absolutely clear. What happened yesterday here in Cooper's Pen was not a government of Jamaica operation. It was private sector led. And at no time before the operation began was I, as Member of Parliament, informed that an eviction or demolition exercise was going to take place. I found out when the people were already being bulldozed. I started receiving phone calls as early as 6 a.m. when residents started appealing to me for assistance. By that time, homes were already being demolished and families were already displaced. So I want to dispel the misinformation suggesting that the government of Jamaica planned this operation or that I somehow knew it was coming and stood by. That simply is not true. I was told the community was on lockdown as people could not leave their homes unless it was a medical emergency or for work. I was also informed that a number of males were taken into custody. I tried reaching out to the superintendent in charge of the parish, but got no response initially. Sometime after, the super returned my call and informed me that court documents were showed to the police for assistance in the operation. The dispute over these lands has existed for many years and predates my tenure as Member of Parliament. Based on the certificate of title obtained from the National Land Agency's website, the property is registered to New Falmouth Resorts Limited. It is therefore understood that yesterday's operation was undertaken on behalf of that private landowner. Now, I also want to be very responsible in what I say. I do not condone informal occupation of land. I have never done so. The people of Wakefield know the position I have consistently taken because I believe communities must be developed in an orderly and lawful manner. Land ownership matters, property rights matter, and the rule of law matters. But here is where I draw the line. The rule of law and basic humanity are not enemies. You can respect property rights and still...
Okay, so we are listening there to the Member of Parliament for Trelawney Northern, Miss Tova Hamilton, addressing the Cooper's Hill demolition. Let's go back to Tova Hamilton.
Respect people. You can recover possession of land without stripping another human being of dignity. The government of Jamaica cannot simply dictate to a private landowner how that owner should deal with his or her property within the confines of the law. But surely, as Jamaicans, we can expect that our people will be treated humanely. A 3-day-old baby should never have been placed in a bath pan and put outside while her mother, who had just undergone a cesarean section, was forced out of her home. A student.
Well, so the Member of Parliament is suggesting that a 3-year-old baby was placed in a bath pan and put out of her house. Wow. Let's listen to the Member of Parliament a little bit more, Miss Tova Hamilton.
Should not have to search for a laptop that was reportedly taken while her home was being invaded. Residents should not have to report that goods were looted from their businesses or that money disappeared from their establishments. And people should not have to watch their possession being destroyed when they are already experiencing the trauma of losing the place they called home. There was a better way to do this. If possession of the property was legally to be recovered, then people could have been afforded reasonable notice and a meaningful opportunity to remove themselves and their belongings. That would not have changed who owned the land. It would simply have demonstrated compassion, decency, and humanity. And that is why I'm anxious to know who determined that this was an appropriate way to carry out this eviction. Who authorized the manner in which this operation was executed? What instructions were given? And what safeguards were put in place for children, the elderly, mothers, families, and people's personal belongings? These are legitimate questions, and the people of Cooper's Pen deserve answers. But I also want Jamaicans to understand what happened after the calls for help came. When I saw the scale of displacement here, I immediately appealed to the Prime Minister for government intervention, not to interfere with private property rights, but to help Jamaicans who suddenly had nowhere to sleep. And the government responded. The ODPM was mobilized, and they were mobilized in good time. And I remained with the community while we awaited the trucks bringing emergency assistance so that displaced residents could at least have somewhere to lay their heads last night. That is the distinction that must be understood. The government of Jamaica did not carry out the demolition. The government responded to the humanitarian crisis that followed it. Today, I am back.
There's a problem with that, though, Miss Hamilton, with the greatest of respect. You're kind of conflating two issues there, which, I understand. Because the government cannot absolve itself from the actions there. Anyway, let me not talk about that too much. Let's finish listening to Miss Tova Hamilton. Miss Tova Hamilton is the Member of Parliament for Northern Trelawney. Complete your thoughts, Miss Hamilton.
In Cooper's Pen, I will continue working with the affected families and the relevant agencies to determine what assistance can be provided and how we can help people begin to pick up the pieces. We will examine the history of the land. We will examine the legal issues. We will determine exactly who authorized this operation and whether everything that occurred.
Hold on there. So the Member of Parliament doesn't know who authorized the demolition? Very interesting.
It was lawful. Whatever our views on informal settlements, on politics, or on property rights, human dignity cannot be conditional upon whether your name appears on a title. I stand with the people of Cooper's Pen as they recover from what happened yesterday. I will continue to help them in whatever way I can, lawfully, and I will continue asking the questions that need to be answered. Because things could have been done differently, things should have been done differently. And I hope what happened in Cooper's Pen will remind all of us that even when exercising a legal right, there is room for humanity. My name is Tova Hamilton, Member of Parliament for Trelawney Northern.
Well, thank you, Miss.
Yesterday was a painful and heartbreaking day for the people of Cooper's Pen.
Okay, we heard that already. We want to thank Miss Tova Hamilton. Now, this Cooper's Pen story is a massive story. Because what is happening in Cooper's Pen deserves a discussion that rises above the immediate political shouting match. The demolition of about 20 homes yesterday has left many families displaced. Molly is my moderator. Molly, they're not hearing me. I'm sorry. Molly, hello. I'm sorry, Molly. What is the challenge there? Okay. Tell me what's happening, Molly. You're not hearing me, listeners? Not hearing me? Okay. The listeners on TikTok are not here. I am hearing. Sounds hollow. What happened to Marlene? What happened to Marlene? Yes, I am hearing loud and clear. Yeah, they are hearing. Okay. The residents say that they had occupied the area for decades and that the matter had been taken before the courts for years. At the same time, the reporting indicates that the land is privately owned and that there is a long-running legal dispute and that the local member of parliament said, that's Ms. Tova Hamilton, that the demolition was private sector led. Now, that statement by the member of parliament is fraught with problems because private sector led can mean that the private sector can, you know what? Let me move. Listen. There are two different questions Jamaica must not confuse. Two questions that the country must not confuse. One is that there is a legal right of the landowner. The owner of the land have a right to it. Now, I heard Mr. Isaac Buchanan with a little piece of nonsense. And I expect better from Mr. Buchanan, who is a lawyer, but I suspect that Mr. Buchanan is playing politics. I want you to listen to Mr. Buchanan's release coming from the PNP. Listen to it.
I am Isa Buchanan, Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern and the Opposition spokesperson on youth and human rights. I am deeply disturbed by the recent demolition of structures occupied by Jamaican families, first in St. Thomas and now in Cooper's Pen, Trelawney. These incidents, reportedly carried out during the dusk and dawn hours, have left families homeless while their personal belongings and life possessions destroyed in the process. What is particularly troubling to me is the reported role of the police during the Cooper's Pen operation. The reported detention of the men while women and children stood by helplessly as their homes and possessions were destroyed is deeply disturbing. The image and circumstances are painfully reminiscent of the powerlessness and separation experienced by enslaved people under slavery. The following is a list from the People's National Party. I'm Isa.
Okay, sorry. You heard that? You heard that from Mr. Buchanan? Please let's sort out the audio and see if we can take that again. My God, listen to him again.
Buchanan, Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern and the Opposition spokesperson on youth and human rights. I am deeply disturbed by the recent demolition of structures occupied by Jamaican families, first in St. Thomas and now in Cooper's Pen, Trelawney. These incidents, reportedly carried out during the dusk and dawn hours, have left families homeless while their personal belongings and life possessions destroyed in the process. What is particularly troubling to me is the reported role of the police during the Cooper's Pen operation. The reported detention of the men while women and children stood by helplessly as their homes and possessions were destroyed is deeply disturbing. The image and circumstances are painfully reminiscent of the powerlessness and separation experienced by enslaved people under slavery. Jamaica must never allow the exercise.
Mr. Buchanan is talking rubbish. Mr. Isaac Buchanan is talking rubbish. When Mr. Buchanan compares what happened in Cooper's Pen to slavery, Mr. Buchanan is really a lawyer, because I can't see how you compare. Boy, I tell you, what a nonsensical argument. There is a difference, you see, Mr. Buchanan, between agency versus ownership of the person. Isaac Buchanan is talking rubbish. Nonsense. I'm being told to fix the audio. Please, Molly, somebody need to communicate with me what audio I'm to fix, because I'm not sure. Producer, please help me out now. Are you hearing me? I'm not sure what audio I'm to fix, because check your mic, sir. That's not how your podcast sound. You aren't as loud. You aren't as loud and clear. You are low on TikTok. I am low on TikTok. All right, let me see if I can bring this up. I'm not shouting. See if you're hearing me a little. Okay, hold on there. Okay. No, I think your your device is maybe the problem here, but I'm on the best device I can. All right. Mr. Isaac Buchanan is talking a load of rubbish. Let me tell you this. To compare this matter to slavery is one big load of nonsense coming from a man claiming to be a lawyer. There is a difference, you see, between agency versus ownership of the person. As one man said on TVJ that him a no squatter. Him a no squatter. And the man right. Because you can't squat. You can't squat in your own country. You're right. As a Jamaican, you're no squatter. That man is partially right. Okay? But Mr. Buchanan is wrong. Listen to Mr. Buchanan again. I beg you. I want to misquote him. Go ahead.
I am Isaac Buchanan, Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern and the opposition spokesperson on youth and human rights. I am deeply disturbed by the recent demolition of structures occupied by Jamaican families, first in St. Thomas and now in Cooper's Pen, Trelawney. These incidents, reportedly carried out during the dusk and dawn hours, have left families homeless while their personal belongings and life possessions destroyed in the process. What is particularly troubling to me is the reported role of the police during the Cooper's Pen operation. The reported detention of the men while women and children stood by helplessly as their homes and possessions were destroyed is deeply disturbing. The image and circumstances are painfully reminiscent of the powerlessness and separation experienced by enslaved people under slavery. Jamaica must never allow the exercise of lawful authority to reproduce circumstances in which vulnerable people feel stripped of their agency.
What a piece of nonsense. Huh? What a piece of absolute rubbish coming from a man who says he's...
Oh gosh.
My God. You know? We need help in Jamaica. If a demia we have a member of parliament, boy, me I tell you something. I'm glad to me a old man now. You not going to live long for see them here. Jesus Christ. Let me tell you this, you see. Slavery. Under slavery, the people themselves were legal property. That's the difference, Mr. Buchanan. Under slavery, it was the people that were legal property. Under slavery, they had no rights to their bodies. The slave master, they were chattels, could impregnate any one of them. These people down there are not slaves, Mr. Buchanan. These people had no enslavement, the slaves had no property. They had no rights to their body, to their labor, to their family. Movement or due process. It was permanent. Hereditary. Slavery was their status. What happened in St. Thomas is a court-ordered eviction. The land is a disputed property. The people still have legal rights. Rights to notice, rights to go to court, rights to appeal, right to bodily autonomy. The state is not claiming ownership of the people, Mr. Buchanan. Slavery violates personhood. Eviction does not do that. I said, chat rubbish. Mr. Buchanan, why don't you talk some sense, man? This is the man that them say is a big lawyer. Big lawyer what? Slavery was a violation of personhood. Eviction, even though the eviction is harsh, deals with property rights. Personhood rights are supposed to remain intact. Under slavery, there were no courts. Under slavery, there were no notice. There was no appeal. Status was assigned to by birth or capture. Come on, Mr. Buchanan. Top rubbish. Anyway, don't expect any better from Mr. Buchanan. He has a history of talking rubbish. I want you to listen to him.
Must never.
Mr. Buchanan. Before you listen to Mr. Buchanan, Television Jamaica carried a very sad news story on this. Listen to TVJ on this matter. The night news.
After more than 20 homes were demolished in Cooper's Trelawney on Tuesday morning, residents say they were given no proper warning and rushed in horror as bulldozers reduced their homes to rubble. Now questions are being raised about who ordered the demolitions and what, if anything, will be done for the displaced families. Sandy Williams explains.
For some residents of Cooper's Pen in Trelawney, Tuesday morning started like any other until the bulldozers arrived. Then, with little warning, homes were turned into piles of concrete, wood, and personal belongings. More than 20 structures were demolished.
I just came here about half an hour ago, and we didn't even hear say some whatever the plan was. We didn't even care about them plans. So I'm saying, if we come here and we just come and see them demolish the house, how come them just do it without a consent of giving people say, oh, watch out? You know, say, you don't have to get a notice for 1 month or 2 weeks. As squatters, you know, live.
Now, is that true? Is it really true that that the residents got no notice? Is that really true? I don't know. But if that is true, then that is very concerning. The people got no warning. That's what TVJ is reporting. Let's listen a little bit more.
Whatever news them are running, so we are what? They should notify us.
Rajek says his 3-bedroom house was home to his family and represented an investment of about $1.5 million. Now he has no home, no bed to sleep in, and no idea where his family will spend the night. And he takes particular issue with being labeled a squatter.
As a citizen, I'm a national, I'm a native. I'm not running for nowhere come here. A Jamaica, me born and grow. Me are no squatters, me can't be squatters in a Jamaica. No boy can't tell me say me are squatters in my country. Me born and grow here.
For another...
Okay, all right. Now, as dispassionate as that sounds from that young man, and we empathize with the residents. That mindset is a problem. With the greatest of respect, sir, that thinking is not good. And I expect that the government will intervene to ensure that the dignity lost, that these people receive the appropriate assistance, but we must call a spade a spade. And on this program, we do not mince our words. That thinking is wrong. There are squatters and there are squatters. In one respect, you are correct that you are not a squatter in your own country. But the country of your birth does have systems in place that determines where you can live, where you can build. Okay? So then, by suggesting that you are not a squatter, it means that them have no right to take you off of them land? No, we can't support that. We cannot support that at all, sir. Greatest of respect, we cannot support that.
If I know I come here, a Jamaica me born and grow. Me are not squatters, me can't be squatters in a Jamaica. No boy can't tell me some squatters in my country. Me born and grow here.
For another resident, the demolition was just as traumatic and made worse.
No. That was a resident from Cooper's Pen. And if you think that he was a little bit off, listen to Mr. Isaac Buchanan. And then you will realize that Mr. Isaac Buchanan is suggesting something.
The humans run this.
Listen to Mr. Buchanan. Mr. Buchanan is the Member of Parliament for Eastern Portland. Mr. Buchanan is a lawmaker. Mr. Buchanan sits in the seat of power in the Jamaican Parliament. Mr. Buchanan represents thousands of people. And this is what Mr. Buchanan is saying. Listen.
Cabinet meeting and no session. After going back, Prime Minister have to keep cabinet meeting and no session. After going back in the house. And now ease up off of them neck. Because government are Prime Minister have to keep cabinet meeting and no session. After going back in the house. And now ease up off of them neck.
The Prime Minister have to go keep cabinet meeting and make them know so then have to go back on the house. And we not ease up off of their neck. Mr. Buchanan got worse. Listen.
Government are creatures of the Constitution. And the human rights run this, the humans run this. Wouldn't let me if I'm thinking I tell. So someone will never up there, take out 1 foot on the bed, broke it off and carry it up and say, see me here? Yeah. Chop a line upon them, because everybody will in that the place where them bulldozers. I forget back a house out of government.
Mr. Buchanan is encouraging Jamaicans to break the law. Oh my God. Oh my God. When did our country come to this? That an elected member of parliament encourages the people to scam the government. To scam the government into using taxpayers' money to give them a house. Just when I thought that we couldn't have gone any lower, we did. I'm going to play the tape from the top and you listen to it.
We keep cabinet meeting and news session after going back on the house. And we never ease up off of them neck. Because government are creatures of the constitution. And the human rights run this, the humans run this. Wouldn't let me if you think I tell. So someone will never up there. Take out one foot on the bed, broke it off and carry it up and say, see my left. Yeah. Chop a line from them, because everybody went in the place where them bulldozers. I forget back a house out of government. And it never been a trailer. Let's say you get line.
For a member of the shadow cabinet to publicly advocate for people to perpetrate a scam in order to benefit without just cause from resources which belong to the taxpayers of Jamaica is most disgraceful, unacceptable, and unbecoming. It is unprincipled, and Buchanan should introspect on his comments and recognize the egregious nature of what he has advocated for. And I tell you what, the opposition spokesman's comments are symptomatic of a mentality historically and currently promoted by the opposition, where they often appear to openly support law-breaking and disorder in society. This cannot be the way for lawmakers to conduct ourselves. We should not be advocating for anarchy in society, supporting dishonest conduct, and certainly should resist any urge to encourage people to seek to benefit via false pretense. However, again, the sentiments are consistent with the conduct of the opposition and the promotion of indecency and unlawful conduct. Therefore, I am not expectant that the opposition leader will hold his spokesman accountable for the wanton advocacy of scamming and violation of the law, which Buchanan appeared to endorse in his sentiments articulated on TikTok.
Well, I tell you something. I probably will have to start back on TikTok, because I think we're having a problem with the sound. So TikTok, we're going to have to log off here and start again. So I'm not so sure what's happening on TikTok, but let's do this over again. All right, YouTube, we're having a little bit of technical problem with the feed on TikTok. So let's end that and see if we can come again. All right, so let's sort out the TikTok issue and see if we can come back. But did you hear Mr. Buchanan there? Did you hear Mr. Buchanan? Absolutely amazing. Okay, and as I indicated to you earlier, that there are two different questions that Jamaica must not confuse. One is, what are the legal rights of the landowner? Two is, how should a humane society treat people who have built their lives on undisputed land for decades. Those two issues are the fundamental issues in this Cooper's Pen land and demolition affair.
I don't know what happens in the kitchen before their food.
Sorry about that. Let's see if we can click back on TikTok and join them again. I hope that we would have sorted out the issues over there. The Cooper's Pen controversy is really a story about law, property, poverty, dignity, power, history, and politics colliding in one place. And in a matter like this, you see, it is tempting, especially on social media, to reduce the matter to simply a story about poor people versus rich people, about people versus government, or PNP versus JLP. That makes for compelling commentary, but it does not bring us to the truth. And I see a lot of people give me a second here. Hello? Okay. I see a lot of people here trying to make a story out of this. Oh my God. I'm having all type of problems here tonight. Hello? I am already live. Yes, I am. Good. The facts are more complicated, though. The facts are more complicated. My producer is doing a little bit of work behind the scene. We had to just close and come back on. Okay, we had to reload, so we just reloaded again. We're having a little bit of a problem here. Whatever the final legal determination of ownership may be, human dignity cannot be demolished with a bulldozer. Yes, human dignity cannot be demolished with a bulldozer, because a house is not merely concrete. A house is not merely zinc and blocks and board. A house is where children grow up. A house is where memories accumulate. A house is where meals are cooked, where grandparents may have died, where school uniforms are prepared, and where people retreat from an unforgiving world. Good evening to you, Caroline. How are you?
Hi, good evening, neighbor. I'm doing all right, just a little tired.
Boy, I tell you, we had problems earlier with this with the audio. Maybe it's because you were not here.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh dear, is it all fixed now?
I think so. Yeah, I think the listeners are hearing us much better. We had to log off and come back.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, happy it has been resolved.
Yeah. Well, we're in thanks to Molly. She's been holding things down great. Nice.
Of course. Well, listeners, please remember to send the daily art news, tap, share, repost, and yes. Neighbor, I'm so lost for words. You know, when I have been rushing so much, I forgot what to tell the listener.
Rushing to come to work. Rushing to come to work.
I tell you.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, neighbor.
Okay, yeah.
Well, since Bobby has been doing such a great job, I'll just hang out here.
No problem. The rights of property owners matter too. And that's the other side that sometimes deliberately gets lost in the emotionally charged discussions. Property rights are also rights. If a person or a company legally owns land, then the society cannot declare that ownership is meaningless because people have occupied the property for a long time. That's not fair. If people legally own land, then the society cannot simply declare that ownership is meaningless because people live on the land for a long time. Because if you do that, then Jamaica creates another dangerous precedent that possession automatically defeats ownership. And we cannot encourage a society that feels that simply living on a piece of land means that you own it. And we must be careful that in this emotionally charged environment, we don't miss that point. Because that would be profoundly destabilizing. There must be a proper legal process for determining whether occupants have acquired the rights to live on lands. And you know, interestingly, Cooper's Pen is not a new social phenomenon because Jamaican courts records relating to the wider area has documented long-standing disputes involving informal settlers and people claiming to have occupied land for many years or generations. That history tells us something important, and it is that Jamaica has allowed informal settlements and unresolved land disputes for years, sometimes for decades. Then eventually somebody reaches for a bulldozer, and that's when the country gets up in arms. But I want you to understand that Cooper's Pen represents something much larger than one community. Because it raises an uncomfortable question. And it is, who gets to convert land into security in Jamaica? Because for a person with money, land can become an investment. For the poor, land can become a home. For a developer, land can become a commercial asset. And so for a family, the same land can become the place where 3 generations live. And therefore, the law has to distinguish these interests. But the policymakers also have to understand the social reality behind them. Now, this has become a political issue. And politics becomes dangerous when it turns a complicated problem into a morality play. This is not an easy problem, listeners. Not an easy problem at all. And this is why this comment from Mr. Buchanan ought to be condemned. Listen to him.
Prime Minister have to keep cabinet meeting and know say she have to go back in the house. And never ease up off of them neck. Because government are creatures of the constitution. And the human rights run this, the humans run this. Wouldn't let me if you think I tell. So someone will never up there. Take out 1 foot on the bed, buck it off and carry it up and say, see that here? Yeah. Chop a line on them, because everybody went in that the place where them bulldozer. I forget back a house out of government. And it never been a trailer. Let's say that line.
For a member of the shadow cabinet to publicly advocate for people to perpetrate a scam in order to benefit without just cause from resources which belong to the taxpayers of Jamaica is most disgraceful, unacceptable, and unbecoming. It is unprincipled, and Buchanan should introspect on his comments and recognize the egregious nature of what he has advocated for. And I tell you what, the opposition spokesman's comments are symptomatic of a mentality historically and currently promoted by the opposition, where they often appear to openly support law-breaking and disorder in society. This cannot be the way for lawmakers to conduct themselves. We should not be advocating for anarchy in society, supporting dishonest conduct, and certainly should resist any urge to encourage people to seek to benefit via false pretense. However, again, the sentiments are consistent with the conduct of the opposition and the promotion of indecency and unlawful conduct. Therefore, I am not expectant that the opposition leader will hold his spokesman accountable for the wanton advocacy of scamming and violation of the law, which Buchanan appeared to endorse in his sentiments articulated on TikTok.
The governing Jamaica Labour Party was very quick to condemn Mr. Isaac Buchanan. Rightly so. Politics becomes dangerous when it turns a complicated problem into a morality play. And in preparing for the program, I did a bit of listening what was happening online, and let me tell you something. The Jamaican people do not understand this issue. They don't understand it. The Jamaican people do not understand what happened here. The opposition sees an opportunity to say, look what this government has done to the poor people. That is the nastiness of politics. Where a complicated problem is being turned into a morality play, and the government is forced to defend itself on a matter that it had nothing to do with. Let me ask you a question listening to me here. I'm asking you a personal question. If you park your car downtown and you forgot to lock it. And when you come back, you see a family in your car. What would you do? Stand up and allow them to drive away your car? Or do you call the police and say, see some people that try to thief my car? Now I ask you, and I raised this with you last night, and I want you to be reasonable. Just we're going to get to the help that these people are going to get. Let's say you went overseas and you lock up your house, and you're back on the island, and while you are overseas, you got a call that you know something, one family moving in your house, you know, and the mother just had a cesarean section, have a young baby, and there is a old lady living in your house, family of 5, and you are going to come home now in your 4-bedroom house, then take it over. Would you say, all right, they are poor, they don't have anywhere to go, leave them alone, I'll go and build another house? Would you do that? I'll take out another mortgage and I'll build another house because they are poor people, and the lady just had a cesarean section, and our baby just born, and our grandmother old, left them in it. You ever do that? The government of Jamaica did not demolish anything. This is a private dispute. What the government is doing now is all the government can do, and that is to respond to the people's immediate need. And I tell you this, and some people will not like this, but it's not the government responsibility to give them house, you know. Not now, not then, not now. The government must respond to protect their dignity, to help them going forward. It is not the taxpayers' responsibility to build houses, give those people. And if we take this position, this emotional position, we cannot build a nation. You know, if I could find the Prime Minister, it would make a lot of sense, because I will make this point here. And hold on. Let me see if I can find the most honorable Prime Minister again, because I think it is so important that we separate the. Go ahead.
Listeners, could you please tap share and repost and continue to send a daily heart me? And for YouTube, good evening to you over there. Could you please like and give us the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, please?
Yeah. A society that is civic literate would have no say. You can't blame the government for what happened to Cooper's Pen. A society that practices civic literacy, that understands how government works, and which is why it is so disgraceful to hear a member of the government, because that is what Mr. Buchanan is. He's not a member of the executive, but he's very much a part of the government of Jamaica, misleading the people of Jamaica and suggesting to them that all some of them went over there must broke off bedfoot, and go make government give them back house. That is the thinking. why Jamaica is in the state it is in. And if this represents, Mr. Mark Golding need to come out and tell us whether or not this represents the view of the People's National Party. And I'm not even ready to take on Mr. Buchanan on that yet. Not even ready. You'll get a full show on it, Mr. Buchanan. Because I think what you have said borders on being, I think the police should look into it. What you are asking of the people of Jamaica. The government of Jamaica should ask the police to examine whether Mr. Buchanan has not committed a crime. Boy, I tell you something, it is fascinating to see what is happening in Jamaica and how this opposition is going about their business. Amazing stuff. But as I said, the people of Jamaica do not understand this Cooper's Pen issue fully. And that is because they are civic. They are not properly literate on how government works and what government can and cannot do. How does Andrew Holness become blamed for this? Man dep online and tell the Prime Minister must SYM and all of that. Prime Minister saying bulldozer down there, so. Huh? Listen to the Prime Minister.
Money in, we cannot give taxpayers money in anonymity. Let me make that point clear. If you are going to benefit,
PM, please repeat for us. And this people in Cooper's Pen, listen to this, because it applies to you too. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. The Prime Minister don't have any money for himself. This is the people of Jamaica money.
we cannot give taxpayers money in anonymity.
Anonymity means hide and eat. It has to be recorded, reported, accounted for. Say it again, Mr. Prime Minister.
We cannot give taxpayers money in anonymity. Let me make that point clear. If you are going to benefit from taxpayers' fund, it cannot be anonymous. There has to be a record. There has to be oversight. We have to test that you deserve to get the funds over someone else who is equally or more in need. So we have to do.
There you go. So now that test must be applied to the people of Cooper's Pen to determine which of them must benefit from taxpayers' money. So what Mr. Isaac Buchanan is talking about is rubbish. Rubbish. Then some people talk about the police was there, so the government must be responsible. And before long, the actual questions disappear because politics has a psychological incentive to simplify. What the PNP is doing on this matter is simplifying the politics. And Mr. Buchanan talk about slavery. Mr. Isaac Buchanan talk about slavery. You want to know about slavery, Mr. Buchanan? I don't even know that you understand history. Maybe you understand law. I don't even know if you understand law, but for what it is worth, they say you're a lawyer. You understand law, you need to understand history. What is slavery? Slavery, Mr. Buchanan, is exactly what you are doing. The politics, the psychological politics of simplification, that is an exploiting of people's ignorance. Because I am not speaking like this because I support the government. I am speaking like this because I have taken the time to understand the issue so I can speak dispassionately on it. Not on bias, not balance, because I don't do balance and I don't do bias. Dispassionately. And I'm not into the politics of simplification because we're not looking votes. You're looking votes, Mr. Buchanan. I'm not looking votes. Because complexity is difficult to campaign on. And so you simplify matters to trap poor people. And all of you poor people there in Cooper's Pen, if any of you are listening to me, based on what I have heard in media from both government and opposition, I can tell you this, Cooper's Pen residents, all the PNP are looking a vote. All the PNP is looking is vote. Votes. A villain is easier. A hero is easier. A political party is easier. The truth is usually much more complicated. Because the presence of the police does not in itself establish that the Prime Minister had ordered the demolition. That is rubbish. Let me ask you a question. If the police show up at your gate, is the Prime Minister send them there? I would not be surprised if the Prime Minister himself did not know that there would have been a demolition. Because maybe if the Prime Minister knew, he probably would have said, no man, not do it. And that is exactly why he shouldn't know. Because you can't get the Prime Minister involved in matters having to do with law and demolition. That's a matter that the court handles. You know, it is so unfair, and I know this is not what I want to talk to you about. Let me just spend a minute on this. Why blame the Prime Minister personally without any evidence that he was involved in this demolition? Uneasy is the head that wears the crown. There is a particular distinction to be made. Because the Prime Minister is ultimately politically accountable for his government. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I sit on this program every night, and I really hope that when I am done, I would have helped my Jamaican brothers and sisters to understand a little bit more about life. The Prime Minister is responsible. He's accountable for his government. He is not automatically personally responsible for every action that happens everywhere in Jamaica. Man abusing wife is Andrew Holness. Picnic go shop and missing is Andrew Holness. Man, woman a bunny man yard is on the wholeness. Man, woman no want give him anything at nights. He's on the wholeness. Man, we can't man a few way to call Viagra because him they blame the Prime Minister for everything. Is the Prime Minister make you can stand up, sir? Huh? Come on. There is nothing that establishes here that the Prime Minister personally ordered Cooper's Pen demolition. Nothing. In fact, the constituency member of parliament publicly stated that the demolition was private sector led. Listen to her. This is the member of parliament for Northern Trelawney, Miss Tova Hamilton. Listen to Miss Tova Hamilton. Here is Miss Tova Hamilton. If I could come up with that. Here is Tova.
Yesterday was a painful and a heartbreaking day for the people of Cooper's Pen. And today I want to speak to it directly, not only as the Member of Parliament for Trelawney Northern, but as someone who stood with these families yesterday, saw their pain firsthand, and believe the public deserves to know what transpired. First, I want to make something absolutely clear.
Listen to her.
What happened yesterday here in Cooper's Pen was not a government of Jamaica operation. It was private sector led.
That's the Member of Parliament, Miss Tova Hamilton. I think that the Jamaican people are dishonest. There are many of us in Jamaica. We lie. We're just dishonest. Because even when the truth knocks us in our face, we still don't accept it. It's a cognitive bias we have. We see red and call it white. And we see green and call it black. Jamaican people don't have no integrity. We not talk about all of it. Some of us Jamaican, we don't have no integrity. And some of we are wicked. And we are ungrateful. Because we don't report the facts. And all some of you bloggers, some of you are so despicable. Some of you bloggers, you are despicable, I'm telling you, man. You know, if I see some of you bloggers on the road, I'd run. I'd hide myself. I wouldn't want to sit down beside you. Uno mouth go put on in a problem. I tell you the truth. It's
the means test. So when we infirm, ill, or elderly and in need of care are being abandoned.
Hold on. Yeah. Some of the bloggers online, they're some of the most despicable human beings. They lie so till. They nyam lie for them breakfast. They nyam it for them lunch. They nyam it to them dinner. Right? Okay, let's listen to Nationwide reporting that Member of Parliament for North Trelawney, Tova Hamilton, suggesting that the government is not responsible for this at all. Go ahead.
What happened yesterday here in Cooperspin was not a government of Jamaica operation. It was private sector led, and at no time before the operation began was I, as Member of Parliament, informed that an eviction or demolition exercise was going to take place. I found out when the people were already being reversed. I started receiving phone calls as early as 6 a.m. when residents started appealing to me for assistance. By that time, homes were already being demolished and families were already displaced. So I want to dispel the disinformation suggesting.
All right, that's a little bit of a problem with the audio there, but that's what the Member of Parliament was suggesting, that no, was not the government at all. This was private sector led. MP. And she also said that she contacted the Prime Minister because she wanted government assistance in finding a solution. That makes the claim that Holness demolished the house is considerably more serious than the evidence presently reported supports. And yet, the PNP bloggers are giving Jamaicans the impression that this is a government-led initiative. As a matter of fact, listen to the party itself. Now, when you can excuse the bloggers, you expect that the party would have taken some greater responsibility. The leader himself, Golden, Mark Jefferson, put out a video today, talk about almost a year ago, I in Crossroad, and said the people of Jamaica need a better life. It's even more true today. We would have delivered in our first term 50,000 affordable homes. Listen to Golden as he politic the matter of the
That's where we're going to reform the National Housing Trust and restore it to its true mission, the original purpose for which we're doing it, because the people of Jamaica need a better life. That is why we're going to build 50,000 affordable houses in our first term. We're going to have them all across Jamaica, and we're going to build them on public lands not suitable for agriculture, and we're not going to include the value of the land in the price of the house, because we want the people of Jamaica who need affordable houses to be able to access it, and they're going to get real value for money, because the land will be theirs and they don't have to pay a price for that. That's where we're going to reform the National Housing Trust and restore it to its true mission, the original purpose.
There you have it. Mr. Golden should be ashamed of himself, turning a complex matter into a morality play. The politics of the psychological incentive of politics. Simplify a complex matter. The people of Cooperspin don't need to hear that, Mr. Golden. That's not what they need to hear. Right? PNP wasn't done yet. Listen to their spokesman on we call it justice or human rights, Isaac Buchanan. Listen to this.
The People's National Party Media Unit.
I am Isaac Buchanan, Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern and the Opposition Spokesperson on Youth and Human Rights. I am deeply disturbed by the recent demolition of structures occupied by Jamaican families, first in St. Thomas and now in Cooperspin, Trelawney. These incidents, reportedly carried out during the dusk and dawn hours, have left families homeless while their personal belongings and life possessions destroyed in the process. What is particularly troubling to me is the reported role of the police during the Cooper's Pen operation. The reported detention of the men while women and children stood by helplessly as their homes and possessions were destroyed is deeply disturbing. The image and circumstances are painfully reminiscent of the powerlessness and separation experienced by enslaved people under slavery. Jamaica must never allow the exercise of lawful authority to reproduce circumstances in which vulnerable people feel stripped of their agency, dignity, and ability to protect their families and possessions.
Listen to that. Rubbish. Comparing this to slavery conflates two different kinds of harm. Because slavery was the total denial of personhood and legal standing. What happened here is a failure potentially of certain other things. It is very important for us to balance property law with human welfare after due process. That is the story. But the simplification of the politics for votes. I must close, you see. But there is also a psychological lesson for Jamaica. Because the strongest emotions in this controversy are understandable. People see homes being destroyed and they feel the outrage. Others see people occupying privately owned property and feel that the law must be respected. Both reactions are psychologically predictable. Both. The danger is that once people become emotionally attached to one side, they begin looking only for information that confirms what they already believe. That is what you call confirmation bias. The fact, though, is that Jamaica needs a better system, not another political argument. Because the greatest failure would be to allow Cooper's Pen to become another temporary national controversy that disappears from public attention in 2 weeks. This cannot be a 9-day talk. Jamaica should use this moment to establish a national protocol for long-standing dispute settlements. Before a demolition involving established residents takes place, there should be clearly documented process involving a number of things, which we don't have to get into. And let me end with this, because this may be the most important lesson of Cooper's Pen. This may be the most important lesson coming out of Cooper's Pen. Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp voice notes, or YouTube commentary is not a court judgment. Before declaring that the PM ordered it, have you established that? Before declaring that the landowners legally demolished people's home, have you established that? Before declaring that these people are squatters, establish what legal claims they may have? Before declaring that the government had nothing to do with it, You see, the media environment, it rewards outrage. The algorithm loves certainty. But truth often gets messed up in the process. And a responsible blogger should be willing to say, we don't know yet. That's not weakness. That is intellectual honesty. And as new facts emerge, the responsible commentator should be willing to say, I was wrong. That is even rarer and even more valuable. The deepest question isn't simply who owns the land, nor is it who ordered the demolition. The deeper question is, what kind of society do we want Jamaica to be? Do we want Jamaica where a society in which property rights are respected? Do we want a Jamaica that respects property right? A society in which court judgments matter? A society in which poor people can be treated well, even though their legal position is weak? Good evening to you, caller. Who do we have?
Asking our listeners at YouTube to give us the thumbs up over there, please. Thank you.
Good night, caller. Good night, caller. Hi. We're going to the calls, yeah? Going to the calls. The calls coming from TikTok, and we take the calls from that platform. If you would need to reach out to the producer if you want to join on YouTube. She has a number that she'll give you, and you can call that number. Good night, caller. Hello, Latoya Roberts. Hello. Okay. Person eating their dinner. Okay.
Okay, so for listeners, if you'd like to join the conversation, could you please send your request now, please?
The mature position is to hold all these principles together. Property without compassion becomes cold justice. Compassion without law becomes disorder. Law without timely government intervention becomes an instrument for managing crises rather than preventing them. And politics without facts is theater. Good night, caller. Cooper's Pen, therefore, should not become another battle between red and green or orange and green. Cooper's Pen should become a national lesson in law. Cooper's Pen should be a lesson in land policy. Cooper's Pen is to be a lesson in human dignity, responsible government, and responsible citizenship. And I will tell you that the people who lost their homes deserve compassion and practical assistance. But the property owners deserve the protection of the law. Both have to be looked at. They deserve compassion and they deserve practical assistance. But the property owners deserve the protection of the law. And the government of Jamaica deserves to be judged on what it actually did, not what political opponents assumed it did. And the Jamaican public deserves the truth. That is the standard we should demand. Good night, caller.
Good night, Neva.
Top of the night to you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Neva.
Yes?
I am not that politically inclined like you and your panel, but I'm just concerned, Neva.
Talk to me.
As a layman. Because what I'm seeing in the news, I am wondering, when did we become so entitled, you know? And for my couple of years on earth, I know that I don't have a lot of experience with this party, but the previous one, even though I was in my team then, I have never seen that sort of entitlement on the government before. I've been listening to clips from on TikTok, and I heard people say they have to find somewhere to put us. They have to find it, they have to do this. So I don't know if you can help to alleviate my ignorance, because I don't really understand when did, even with the hurricane house, and it's becoming annoying. They say we don't have any gratitude. It's like we were in an insurance, and you know, it's mandatory that we get a job. So the hurricane come and the government have to build back house. But never know it's like that. And no, we, as you rightly said, we all have to have compassion. So we have compassion on the situation, or with the situation that happened in Chilani. But I am saying, how does it become a Andrew problem? Everything will be in the Prime Minister feet and the administration feet.
That's the
after so many years.
That's the problem that I've been pointing out, you see, sir, is that politics, when politics becomes when you turn complicated problems into simple problems, sir, that's a disservice to the people. Because this Cooper's Pen matter, sir, is not a simple matter, you know. It's not a simple matter. And that is why it was in the court for so many years. Okay? But sir, the opposition sees here an opening, and they are exploiting it. Now, I don't blame oppositions from exploiting political matters. But you see this one here, it is not every matter. This matter here is a different matter, because it is a complex matter that involves landowners, and it also involves the people's dignity, because both have to be taken on board. Because you can't say that the people should have stayed. Can't say that.
No.
What you have to discuss is how should they leave, and what time should be given, sir. 10 more years? Huh? And at what point you have to come in and say, okay, sufficient time has expired. I need my property to develop my business or whatever. And therefore, based on what the court has said, these people do not own the land. They have no legal right to be there. What are the owners to do?
Well, Mr. Neighbor, also, the only thing, yes, I heard that point, but the thing again, too, is only a pity that the appliances and whatever else was, you know, mashed up within the money when they also have been taken down. So that part of it, you know, I have sympathy for. But as I say, the time have to come where a decision have to be made. And as you say, yeah, there are some things that the opposition can exploit, but why is it so hard for us to understand that these people are not necessarily genuine? It's just for politics purpose. Look at what Mr. Buchanan look at what he said. And these people supposed to be responsible people, and they're getting away with these things.
Well, I don't know if he's going to get away with it, sir, because it's just coming out, and that is going to, I'm telling you, a lot of discussions will be had on that going forward.
Get away with a lot, sir.
Mm-hmm.
They get away with a lot, sir. So this one, so and then we the listening public don't say, why would I want you to defend me into wrongs? Or to tell is like you tell my faith, come mash up my country. What is happening to us?
Yeah, let me tell you, sir. And I'm repeating myself. There are two different questions that we must not confuse. Number one is that what are the legal rights of the landowners? Number two is how should a society treat people who have built their lives on disputed land for decades. Those are the two issues, because the dignity of the residents are important. Okay, but the rights of the rights of the owners also matter. Not true? Property rights are also rights. And I put it to Jamaicans to be reasonable, because you can't have people living on your land and you just leave them there. So there has to be some way that we solve this problem. And this is why I am calling for, sir, that this matter should not be just left like this. Jamaica need to establish some guidelines as to how we are going to deal with matters like this going forward. Jamaica needs a better system, not a political argument. We have to fix. How people are to be removed from lands that they do not occupy legally.
Yeah, Mr. Neighbor, Mr. Montague is coming up with some good thing too, because one of the things is discouraging, because from day one these things was put into place, maybe we wouldn't be here. Just as you say, a stick put up or a block put up, react to it, before it escalates. So he's saying, no, it don't depend on that government is going to be out there coming against capturing people property. So I think that even though you say you don't want it from the political side, but I think that is one way to look at it, to discourage things like this. And I don't know in the end how better we could move people, because some form of building will be coming down, because if you need a land space, I don't know if I'm making sense, it's going to be there. And we're not going to take it easy because it's people investment, but persons are to be educated.
May I say this with the greatest of respect, sir?
Yes, sir.
That if Jamaica is going to be advanced, or if Jamaica is to advance, a lot of buildings that are now up will have to come down. You hear me tell you, sir? There's a lot of buildings that are now up that will be coming down. That is how our country develops. You see, some of these towns, sir, in Jamaica, they were built from the colonial days. They serve no useful purpose anymore. Jamaica, sir, will have to make some tough decisions about how we are looking at development, how we are looking at the use of land. Jamaica is one of the only countries in the world, sir, where beachfront properties are occupied by informal settlers.
Yes.
I'm telling you, sir, right near where I live, there is a beachfront, and supposed to see how it stays, sir. dirty and nasty. You understand me? That could have been an economic powerhouse for that community. Okay? You drive into any town in Jamaica and you realize that the towns have outgrown and outlived their usefulness. It's time for them to come down, sir. Right? And there are some other informal settlements in Jamaica that we're going to have to relocate those people to. That's just the truth. You know, sir. And this is where I say to my listeners that democracy assumes cooperation. And you're not prepared to cooperate with the government, I don't see how you can have a democracy.
That is it.
A lot of what we enjoy in Jamaica, sir, we're going to have to give up some of it if the country is going to develop, you know. Anyway.
I heard you say that more than one time. And thank you for the time, neighbor. And also, I must let you know that this is a program that I enjoy.
Okay.
And I like the way you do it, sir. I really like the way you do it. Very professional, and that's what I like.
Well,
right, so God bless you and your panel.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, Mr. Neighbor. Yes, sir. All the best.
Oh, thank you. Hello, dear Scratchy.
Night, neighbor. Night, Caroline.
Scratchy, you are the man that I turn to for the politics. You heard Mr. Isaac Buchanan today, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
What you make of Mr. Isaac Buchanan? Listen to this. Just in case the listeners are joining and didn't hear that member of parliament from Portland. Listen to him.
Nationwide News understands that the land dispute that resulted in the homes of more than 30 families being demolished in Cooper's Pen, North Trelawney on Tuesday began 19 years ago in 2007. Opposition spokesperson on human rights and MP for East Portland, Isaac Buchanan, in an official release from the PNP, condemned the action.
I am deeply disturbed by the recent demolition of structures occupied by Jamaican families, first in St. Thomas and now in Cooper's Pen, Trelawney. These incidents, reportedly carried out during the dusk and dawn hours, have left families homeless while their personal belongings and life possessions destroyed in the process. What is particularly troubling to me is the reported role of the police during the Cooper's Pen operation. The reported detention of the men while women and children stood by helplessly as their homes and possessions were destroyed is deeply disturbing. The image and circumstances are painfully reminiscent of the powerlessness and separation experienced by enslaved people under slavery.
According to Buchanan, residents received no notice and had no opportunity to save their belongings before their homes and in many cases their life possessions were destroyed. He wants the government to urgently provide emergency housing and welfare support for all affected families, counseling services, particularly for children, and assistance to replace destroyed belongings. However, the East Portland MP took a different track on social media in what he called a dialectic. In that comment, Buchanan sought to guarantee the residents who were on the land illegally that the Holness administration would provide them new homes.
So to the people of Trelawney who wake up and run down those roads, I feel your pain, and God is going to do something magical for all of them. I see the Prime Minister, I'm have to lift up off of some house, and I'm have to give him, and when I'm putting plaque on the house, then I'm have to give him back. Rip it off when I'm done, because if they're not giving him back house, Tova can't win down there. Right now, anyway, should have be a twet. Prime Minister have to keep cabinet meeting and know, so she have to give him back in the house. And now ease up off of them neck, because government are creatures of the Constitution, and the human rights run this, the humans run this. Wanna bet me if you think I lie, me I tell.
The MP, who is no stranger to verbal controversy, went further. He called on Jamaicans not involved in the demolition to, quote, chop a line pan them. Chop the line or chop a line is a Jamaican slang term that specifically means to run a scam or commit fraud.
So someone will up there, take out 1 foot on the bed, broke it off and carry it up there and say, see what left here? Yeah, chop a line pan them, because anybody will in the place where them bulldoze, you have to get back a house out of government. And it now going to be no trailer. I bet you get land. I bet you that.
Siobhan Campbell, For Nationwide News,
I want to thank Nationwide, Siobhan Campbell for that report. Scratchy, what do you make of that?
A true PNP neighbor. Isaac Buchanan neighbor, definitely a true PNP neighbor. You know, he just by his sentiments, just by his pronouncement neighbor. These are things neighbor that will definitely come from someone neighbor who see himself as a PNP. Isaac Buchanan. Every single thing that Isaac Buchanan has just said neighbor is exactly neighbor what the People's National Party, the political organization neighbor, is also practicing. And I kind of believe neighbor that there's a population there's a section of our population neighbor who buys or who share the same sentiments as Isaac Buchanan, and he's playing on the emotion neighbor of that section of our population, and he's also trying to play some mind game neighbor. He's trying to think that he's putting the Prime Minister in a spot, you know, where he's trying to play some form of mind game or something like that. And at a greater level neighbor, I think Isaac Buchanan neighbor understands where Jamaica is politically neighbor. And I think Isaac Buchanan understands neighbor that he will never go anywhere further neighbor than in our political process than just being a member of parliament neighbor. And I believe neighbor that Isaac Buchanan is someone neighbor who I think neighbor is very much comfortable being a member of parliament, even on the opposition benches neighbor. I don't think Isaac Buchanan neighbor sees himself neighbor as being a minister at any point in time in the country neighbor, as holding any form of executive position at any time, because the type of things that come out of Isaac Buchanan mouth neighbor, it is not someone neighbor who wants to hold higher office in the land. It is not someone neighbor who understands neighbor that is law and order that is going to bring us through neighbor. I think Isaac Buchanan understands the politics neighbor and realize neighbor that he will only be a member of parliament. He will never be a part of the executive. He will never be a part of a governing party. And he's okay with that neighbor. The reason why he's doing that neighbor, Isaac Buchanan knows neighbor that you and I and everybody else neighbor, we can come and we can say this or we can say that. This is what he wants. He wants us to talk about it. He wants us to talk about it neighbor. And he also understands neighbor that his job, and him having his job neighbor, is solely the responsibility of persons who reside or who are the voting list in Eastern Portland. If you're outside Eastern Portland, he have to believe that you can't affect him at all. That is why Isaac Buchanan is behaving on his neighbor. Poor statement coming from him, neighbor, from someone who sits in the parliament. But again, it is something, neighbor, that will definitely come from a PNP, neighbor. And Isaac Buchanan has proven to me tonight, neighbor, that he's a true PNP.
Let me ask you a question. I know that you have watched the politics in Jamaica for some time. And there is something concerning that is developing, and it feels very uneasy, Scratchy. It makes me feel uneasy. And that is that the politics is getting nasty, where the politics is no longer about ideas discussing policies. It's personal, it's getting fractious and kind of in the gutter. It concerns me, Scratchy, that this current new breed of politicians don't understand the legacy, what it means to sit in that garden house. I mean, here am I sitting down here in this chair that one of my listeners bought me. And I feel, Scratchy, that I have a responsibility to conduct myself in a disciplined and dignified way, because I represent the Hello Neighbor brand. And therefore, if I say anything untoward, I would hurt my brand and my team. But Scratchy, how do you explain this type of looseness, this type of chop line? How do you explain a member of parliament representing a party behaving like this online on a TikTok show, trying to get likes and all of them, something there? What does it say about the politics that we are witnessing right now, sir?
I'm not going to just say neighbor I'm not going to say it is the politics, neighbor. I'm going to say, neighbor, it's the politics of the PNP, neighbor, because we have two major political parties, neighbor. And this type of behavior that we're seeing, neighbor, it is only coming from one political organization.
Yeah, but what explains why they have become so below? What explain? And if you listen to their bloggers too, Scratchy, you get the sense that it is one cesspool.
Yes, neighbor. What explain it, neighbor, is the leader, neighbor, the leadership of the People's National Party, neighbor.
Oh.
The leadership, neighbor, of the People's National Party is wanting, neighbor. Leadership of the People's Party, neighbor, People's National Party, neighbor, is not a leader, neighbor, who is responsible for running a political organization, neighbor. Because running a political organization, neighbor, is totally different from running a business or a company or an organization that you are running for profit. Running a political organization, neighbor, whatever, there's a country like Jamaica which is so leader-centric, neighbor. You are seen as a key role model, neighbor. You are seen as the key person who is responsible for bringing this nation together, for persons to have certain level of understanding, for persons to want to go and chase them goals and become better citizens. You are seen as that, but the moment you become the leader of a political organization, it's about gaining profit. It is about advancing and changing people's life. And the leader of the People's National Party, neighbor, has failed to do that, neighbor. The People's National Party, neighbor, led by its current leader, neighbor, has shown us, neighbor, that they are probably the worst political organization in the English-speaking Caribbean. We have never, neighbor, as much as we are stalwarts and we are JLP supporters of our local party, neighbor, what due to Caesar, neighbor, we give to Caesar. And I can come here, so neighbor, and talk without water in my mouth, neighbor, and say that no matter what kind of policy and program and what kind of what the PNP has done to Jamaica, neighbor, the People's National Party, neighbor, has been an organization, neighbor, that has brought forward a lot of patriotic Jamaicans, neighbor. Despite they might have sticky fingers, neighbor, they were patriotic to a certain level when it comes to certain policies, neighbor, and certain other things. But we are seeing now a new breed of PNP politicians, neighbor. These are persons, neighbor, who I never dreamed that some of these persons, neighbor, should never become member of parliament.
Stick up in there. Stick up. Isn't that part of what we need to address, Scratchy? Where the recruiting of these people is also a problem.
That is one of the.
Yeah, go ahead.
That is one of the biggest problems, neighbor. The caliber, neighbor, the slate of candidates that the People's National Party put forward on their ticket, neighbor, in the last general election. And I'm going to let a person like to talk about, no, Scratch, everybody equal, people are people, neighbor. Yes, all of us is equal in the sight of God, and all of us is equal as being human beings. But what personal achievements, neighbor, what we go through and gain in life, neighbor, is what separates us, neighbor.
Yes.
Is what separates us, neighbor. And I believe, neighbor, that a lot of these persons, most of the majority of them are the opposition benches right now, neighbor. I'm not going to say that they are less than anybody, but to the level of becoming a parliamentarian, neighbor, they are less than that, neighbor. They don't reach that caliber to become a parliamentarian, neighbor. Because the moment you select yourself to be a parliamentarian, neighbor, you are now not living for yourself, you're living through service, and it has a lot to do with how you carry yourself, and how you maintain yourself, how you talk, and it has a lot. And the PNP has shown us, neighbor, that they have put forward, neighbor, some persons, neighbor, where a lot of these persons, neighbor, as I have been said before, neighbor, I believe that for you to just come and be a politician, yes, I don't have a problem with young politicians, neighbor, but I believe, neighbor, for you to get that awesome power, to sit in our parliament, to be a part of our legislative system, neighbor, you must have contributed some form of use to the advancement
of your country
of Jamaica in your private life. Now, look at these 28 members of parliament for the PNP bench, neighbor. How many of these persons we can say, and outside I will go for these persons for the first time, what type of role these persons hold in our society, in molding our society, and making our society a better place, neighbor, that propel them. So persons can say, okay, I want this person to be my member of parliament because this person has done so great in their private life, as a private citizen, whatever office they hold in their private life, that I think that they will be a wonderful member of parliament. It is not like that, neighbor. That is why we are having this issue with the People's National Party, neighbor. That is why they have a leadership issue, neighbor. They have a leader who has lost 2 consecutive elections, neighbor. They have a leader who continue to flip-flop. They have a leader who continue to put in shadow spokesperson spot, but they go out and say one thing and then come out and rebut what they say, neighbor. They have a leader, neighbor, where despite all of that, neighbor, him still seem attractive to them, neighbor. And the reason why he still seem attractive to them is because of how empty the party is, how baseless they are, neighbor, how lack of leadership the party is wanting in leadership. The People's National Party, neighbor, the Jamaicans have great injustice when they selected, neighbor, these type of persons to become parliamentarians, neighbor. These persons are not ready to be parliamentarians. These persons, neighbor, might better suited in another position. I'm not going to say that they are hopeless and they don't work, no, neighbor. They are just not worthy to be parliamentarian. To be a parliamentarian, neighbor, it is not something easy. It is not something that we should just throw up on the box or up on the shoulder of anybody and say you're popular, you're famous, so go and go become a parliamentarian.
That's right.
It's not popularity and fame of this thing.
And I tell you the truth, I tell you the truth, Scratchy. If you look at the lead up to the last election, some worse one was weeded out that they could have win to.
Some worse one was
oh God.
Out, neighbor. If they had managed to form government, neighbor, with the majority, neighbor, we'll be having problem. It is very difficult, neighbor, for me to look over the People's National Party side, neighbor, and say, okay, I see a Minister of Foreign Affairs. Okay, I see a Minister of Agriculture. I see a Minister of Tourism. I see a Minister of Culture. I see a Minister of Security who can continue and carry the baton and continue to show the great leadership style that Dr. Chung has showed. I don't see it, neighbor. These persons, neighbor, has never, some of them people, neighbor, they never won a managerial position in their personal life yet. But we propel these persons to become member of parliament, to want to become now, to become ministers.
Yeah. A lot of
ministers.
Yeah, a lot of people today, Scratchy, got in touch with me, felt that ISAT was demeaning the Prime Minister. Listen to him.
Something magical for all of them. Because you see the Prime Minister, I'm have to lift up for some house. And I'm have to give him. And when I'm putting plaque on the house, then I'm have to give him back. Rip it off when you're done, because if they're not giving him back house, Tova can't win down there. Right now, anyone should have a twep.
What him say mean twep?
I'm not sure what I mean by twep. But we can't tell us anything.
Yeah, no, wait. Address the point. That a lot of people were telling me that that ISAT was demeaning the Prime Minister, the way he was speaking about the Prime Minister here, Scratchy.
They always demean the Prime Minister. It's a thing for the PNP to demean the Prime Minister. But I say, neighbor, Isaac Buchanan is playing mind game, neighbor. Isaac Buchanan understand the Prime Minister that we have, neighbor. Isaac Buchanan realize, neighbor, that we have an understanding Prime Minister. We have a compassionate Prime Minister, neighbor. And we have a Prime Minister, neighbor, we're in crisis, neighbor. He tends to respond, neighbor,
And to be frank, the government have responded admirably here.
Yes, Isaac Buchanan know that the Prime Minister is going to respond strong. So what Isaac Buchanan is doing, neighbor, is trying to say to these people, okay, if we get house, as the Prime Minister decides I'm going to run some house, and me come talk and me going to get house.
Oh.
That is what Isaac Buchanan is doing, neighbor. If they don't get the house, neighbor, if one can come out and somebody telling us say never go in the house, and I see someone begging for going out and not going in the house, Isaac Buchanan is trying to put the Prime Minister in a spot. That is what Isaac Buchanan. But Isaac Buchanan needs to understand, neighbor, that the Prime Minister don't play mind game, the Prime Minister play chess. Meanwhile, Isaac Buchanan play mind game. But at chess, the Prime Minister play, neighbor. And the PNP have always to this, neighbor. For the PNP, neighbor, to have any form of relevance, neighbor, for the PNP to have any form of attractiveness, neighbor, it must be a political divided argument, neighbor. If the argument and the situation don't have any politics tonight, neighbor, PNP don't have no relevance, neighbor.
Okay. Let me take you therefore to coming to your magic. Let me take you therefore to the real issue on the ground, Scratchy. What is your position on this the situation having to do with the Cooper's Pen demolition? And I want you to address the politics of it. What is the politics of this moment?
Neighbor.
Yes.
This Cooper's Pen situation, neighbor. First, let's put in context, neighbor, that this Cooper's Pen situation, neighbor, is something, neighbor, that is gonna continue to arise, neighbor. Every single year, we're gonna have more of this out there, neighbor.
You mean we will have more Cooper's Pen going forward?
We're gonna have more Cooper Spend going forward, neighbor. Neighbor, there's a lot of informal settlements in Jamaica.
600,000. 600,000.
A whole lot of informal settlements in Jamaica, neighbor. And I don't know, neighbor, if there's going to have to come a time where the government, neighbor, might have to create a form of registry, neighbor, where these places are named, neighbor, and person try to put some stuff on where there's no additional person not being added to these informal settlements, because, neighbor, what happened in Cooper Spend, from a political standpoint, let's look at it from a political standpoint.
Yeah, that's what I want you to do.
And that is what Isaac Buchanan is doing, neighbor. From looking at it from a political standpoint. Now, look at Cooper Spend, neighbor. Say Northern Trelawney, neighbor, is a constituency of the Jamaica Labour Party, narrowly one, neighbor. Okay? Now, I don't know, neighbor, I don't have any exact idea. I don't know how Cooper Spend people vote, and I don't know where them vote is. So what Isaac trying, you really never talk about if the Prime Minister give them the house to over can't win. So he's trying to tarnish the people in mind that Cooper Spend, if their supporters are voters of the Jamaica Labour Party, neighbor, to say that if you want to get the house and vote back for the Labour right them down there, neighbor, it is all politics.
Oh, God.
It is, no, but what the government, one thing I know for sure, neighbor, that this government don't play politics, neighbor. But whatever decision the government is making, neighbor, the government have to make sure, neighbor, that it is cognizant that it's not making something that can affect them politically.
Oh.
Because this government, that far, this is political party, that far government.
Hi, Chief.
Hold on, sir.
How you doing?
Hold on. Just hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
You know, so I don't think this government is going to play the form of politics, neighbor. And what we have to understand, neighbor, is that the residents who are living on this piece of property in Cooper Spend, neighbor, over an extended period of time, neighbor, they know, neighbor, that the land didn't belong to them. They know that they were a quota on the neighbor. The type of houses, the type of dwellings that these persons managed to build, neighbor, by extended
They never expected to leave.
Yes, you can see it's clear sign, neighbor, that they didn't expect to leave, neighbor. And you can't be on a capture land, neighbor, and expect that. And my reason, neighbor, for saying that going forward, we're going to see a whole lot more Cooper Spend, neighbor. Especially as the country develops. Hey, neighbor, Jamaica is opening up for prosperity, neighbor. We're going to see people come reclaim land, neighbor, 30, 40 years. Neighbor, people are come back to them land.
Yes.
Case in point, neighbor.
Yes.
Look what going on in Westmoreland. You know what people have land for lease and come working. Melissa come and the people tell them, say,
yes.
Don't build back no for land. Go on to the business.
Yes.
Neighbor,
Yes.
Jamaica don't want this again. Jamaica, the people are close them eye to them land and say, no, not go on.
Or they run away and were not expected to come back because of the crime. Now that the government is settling in the crime issue, people are returning.
Crime settle.
Yeah.
Poverty settle. Unemployment settle. Neighbor, people are coming back to them land. People coming back to them land, neighbor, because the country open up and ready to go.
That is quite true.
People, but what I don't like, though, neighbor, because two wrongs don't make it right. What I don't like, though, neighbor, is I believe, neighbor, but I personally believe that the member of parliament said that the court order wasn't a demolition order, neighbor. And I believe, neighbor, that large that settlement was, neighbor, that informal settlement was, neighbor. I believe, neighbor, that the owners of the land, neighbor, went about it wrong.
Okay.
Went about it wrong, neighbor. You cannot go on a place like that, neighbor, with bulldozer. I went to my yard property, but bulldozer don't people doing it with the furniture inside of it. If you didn't have a demolition order, neighbor, based on how large that place is, neighbor, how much different family live there, neighbor. If I was the owner of that land, neighbor, I would have, after I get the court order that I win the case, I would have seek dialogue with the member of parliament, neighbor.
Yes.
Because the member of parliament
councillors
is the person who represent the constituents and the people, neighbor. So if I can't want certain dialogue with the people because them two dons, I go and have dialogue with the member of parliament. I said to the member of parliament, listen, I win the court case order after 30 years now, you know. I'm in the bangarang. I need them people off of the land. The member of parliament now, neighbor, I go look into his or herself and say, alright, it's true.
No, I'm coming to you, sir.
Brother, you can't wait the time, you can't jump down, you know.
No, but you're there to attract some shit.
Jump down, brother, if you don't want you to attack, you come down. How are you, Milo? I sit down, Milo, man. Milo, if you have respect, Milo, man.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
So, yeah, neighbor. The developer should have met with the member of parliament, tell the member of parliament, because of all large neighbor and how much persons. Neighbor, the developer put the government in a sticky situation, neighbor. The developer neighbor who went in that place with the chapter, you embarrass the government and put the government in a spot. You make the government look bad because what? Based on how much persons live there, neighbor, you should have seen the government, dialogue with the government, reach out to the member of parliament. The member of parliament then now say, all right, I'm going to move this forward to, we're going to see if we can get the Minister of Labour and Social Security involved. We're going to see if we can get the Minister of Local Government involved. You mean
you have to structure the demolition a bit better.
Of course, neighbor, the demolition have to be structured. They can't just go lead down people out to the furniture like this, so when them wrong.
Yes,
you can't do that. You can't just go lead down people place. So you have to meet with these people, neighbor. Every single constituency in Jamaica, neighbor, have a member of parliament. Them don't just have member of parliament, so people go beg them. Them have member of parliament, so that people who have business interest, neighbor, meet and have dialogue with the member of parliament.
Yes.
You can't just go bulldoze down people place, so even though you're a lot of people are wrong, yes, but you don't make it right, neighbor. I think, neighbor, you should have met with the member of parliament. The member of parliament properly meeting to the Minister of Local Government and the Minister of Social Security, neighbor. The government have now right now rolling out, neighbor. Who knows? Maybe the government could have tried factoring them people in Nara somewhere, somehow. Because this is a caring government.
Yes. Well, quite true. Let's hear from Matsik. Good night to you, Matsik.
Good night, neighbor.
Yeah, man. Tell us what's on your mind and your perspective here.
My perspective on this whole situation. I want you to focus on one thing, neighbor.
Yes.
The whole situation has been politicized.
Yeah, but before you go there, I'd love to hear you on Mr. Isaac Buchanan. What Buchanan said.
And you mean on his rant?
On his rant. His rant.
On his rant. Okay. Now, what Mr. Buchanan is doing, as Scratchy have said, is basically trying to make a preemptive strike.
Oh.
You know, he knows the politics and he knows the way the government is operating based on the policy that he sees with this government. Because the government approach to everything is a policy perspective. And the reason why the government approach it in a policy perspective and not a program like the PNP are accustomed to is that the government wants its people to see the clear vision in which they are taking the country.
I see.
You understand? So, you ever watch the program called The First 48 Hours?
No, sir.
The 48 Hours is an investigation program where they say that the first 48 hours is most critical in its investigation.
Okay, yes.
And if we look at what transpired within this 48 hours of what happened, first we have the rant from Isaac. Then we have to remember that the member of parliament said that there was the order from the court is not a demolition order. She said that she was called 6 o'clock in the morning. She tried to contact the superintendent of police for the parish, whom she says she didn't get a response from, but she called afterwards to say that the court asked for the assistance of the police to carry out this order. This order, remember, she said it's not a demolition order.
What order was it? Hold on. It's an eviction.
It's an eviction. It doesn't say it's demolition, and the court is precise in its language because these people are out of the English language.
Have you seen the order? A copy of it?
I've not, but I have to trust the integrity of the member of parliament and this government. I have to trust that she's telling the truth. And when I look at it, she says that the superintendent contacted they were asked to assist in this process that carried through. Now, according to Scratchy, and the fact is, and it's logical, if he was informed that they should assist with this exercise, why didn't he consult with the member of parliament? Because the member of parliament is the people's, should be the people's person.
You mean the superintendent?
The superintendent should, because he said that it was asked of the the court asked for the assistant of the police. Now, neighbor.
Yes.
We have had discussion number of time about PNP using the state to fulfill its mandate. I believe personally that this was orchestrated for the government to look bad. And the reason why I would be able to say this, neighbor, is that these people that live on the property, they were given the impression that they would be helped by the politician. We are to remember that the PNP intervened in 2012 when they ascended to power. These people seek political assistance and they never seek it in the administration from 2007 to 2012. What does that say? These people never seek the assistance of the Jamaica Labour Party administration because they're a PNP. So when PNP won in 2012, they seek that assistance, and this is when the PNP went to court. Let us look at the movements of things that are now occurring, because that's what me doing, neighbor. Me look on it the mad way.
Yes, I want you to help me with that.
We need to understand that it is valid, because when these people were assisted, remember, we had an election last year coming up. A decision was made last year by the court, and these people were still there, neighbor. So, can we ask the question, was these people who are walking the ground give these people the impression that if they win, or when them win, they would resolve the situation? What comes to light in a neighbor is that the person that owns the property, because what happens? Why was the property dormant for it to be inhabited by these squatters? There was a legal challenge between an investment and overseas investors and a local investors. They both purchased this land together and come to an agreement to buy the land. Now, neighbor, there was a dispute later on to whom owned the land, whether it is the overseas investors or the local investors. During that time, there was a challenge in the court to settle the matter. This is when none of the investors, them and none of the people them who own the land or claim the land could not touch the land. It remained dormant, and the people them went and inhabit it. Neighbor, when the matter went to court in 2007, neighbor, for the people them to move a stop order, because by this time the people who now own it, the court made the decision that they are the rightful owner. These people now want them property, and in 2007 they had to go to court to get the people them move, because they refuse to move freely. A lot of the people them that lives there, neighbor, we need to realize that they were living there when the order was first issued. They came during the process of the order and the matter in a court for the people that left. So the question is, who would instigate these people to go there to live? Let me tell you. Remember that the PNP bring the matter to court to have an injunction based on Section 6 of the HAJ Act, which is where they can accumulate settlement they would purchase any settlement and to resettle people. So when they went to court, they lost their appeal, and the judge said that they were trying to pervert the course of justice.
Yes.
So it was always been political, because if the government have a general and an attorney general, they should get advice before they go to court.
Yes.
As if it was done, wouldn't they see where it would be concluded that the courts of justice would be perverted, and that would have been the conclusion? It was always political. And now that this guy come out now on a rant, it gives us, in the first 48 hours, it gives us the impression that what has been happening was always orchestrated. And now it comes to fruition where the people them have to live, them have to play the game continuously. So this guy come now and try to incorporate the caring of this government to try to give that impression that you damn if you do or damn if you don't. You have to build back the people in house, or you have to give them house. That's what basically his whole ranting is about. Is that, and he's trying to dare the Prime Minister not to. Why? He's trying to give himself the impression that he is on the ball. That's why he's saying, nah, take them foot off of their neck. Listen to it, because they're going to want to press it to him and give the impression to the people them that he is the one, or they are the one that's what is so proactive in having them getting a house or getting assistance to obtaining house.
So you are saying that this is the politics of this moment.
This is the politics of the PNP. That's the only way they can find themselves in because what they know, and if you mention it, they're bloggers. They're a cesspool of garbage because they are running with the same thing, and their bloggers basically share the same sentiments of this guy Isaac Buchanan today. Remember,
about Isaac Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Oh, Buchanan.
There is two voice note and a video of him. One voice note and a video of him. One in the capacity of opposition spokesman in human rights and youth. And he came out after posting the first video when he rant. Think about that, neighbor. We have to pay attention. So when he come out first, it is the sentiment of the People's National Party that he's sharing. But he come out in the capacity to try to address it on a national basis. Because when some of the people don't really follow certain things on TikTok. So in one on TikTok, neighbor, I put in TikTok careless liar. And Isaac Buchanan come in when you put it in on a search bar.
You search for TikTok careless lawyer.
And Isaac Buchanan come up.
And Google brings up Isaac?
No, on TikTok. If you go on TikTok and type in careless liar in the search bar, Isaac Buchanan come up immediately.
What are you saying to me?
I never lie. Just think about that. Think about it. If the phone, remember phone a smartphone, so it will show you how smart the phone is. That's even a careless person you can identify. It's a careless argument, it's a careless conversation, it's a careless rant, and it's a careless man. With a careless argument I present to Jamaica to take careless action. In the capacity of a lawyer, he is inciting.
No, I want you to say that to me again. You type in careless lawyer in TikTok and Isaac come up.
Yes.
The algorithm of TikTok have Isaac as a careless man.
Yes.
Mighty God.
That's what the algorithm show.
Are you serious, sir?
I never lie. I never lie. I don't have time to lie. If you go up on your Theme Vice and Rosalie, that will show you where it is. But nevertheless, that is just the sarcastic part. But even though it is serious argument, let me focus on the main fact that issue. Let us pay attention and realize that it is politically orchestrated. What the PNP is basically trying to do, they have got a platform where they are trying to bring up some story from 1967 about the owner that died, saying that he died leave some people. But when he died, the title wasn't finalized. So this is when these people come in, and they are basically saying that at this time there were people inhabiting the space. Yes, but they weren't inhabiting the space that was on the basis for the Rolton estate. Then they inhabit that space in at that time. But when the matter was brought to court by the two consortiums or the two investors who basically buy this purchase and they have legal issues or challenges for who rightfully own it, and then brought it to court, the property remain dormant and people start build on that section, neighbor.
Yes.
That's what happened. And then in the politics, they were given vague promises. Remember, the PNP put an injunction for even the JPS was brought to court into this, neighbor. We need to realize, I asked the question yesterday on your platform. Why was certain building allowed to erect on that site when there was a time in 1994, there was that time when the parish council, 94, they wanted to move the people. From 94, they want to move the people and the parish council have problem. Why? The parish council at that time was a PNP-led parish council. Northern Trelawney have always had a PNP MP. So what they have done, they realized that the people that were at Cooper Spend and inhabited capture and a PNP, and if they move them, they will have a political demise. That is the reason why they never touched the matter when they lose the matter wasn't touched until 2012 on behalf of the people. Neighbor, because the people them seek government intervention when the matter was there 5 years before, from 2012. What happened? On December 29, 2011, Andrew Wallace lost the election to Portia Simpson and she ascended to power by 2012. And that's when they asked the administration for help. And they brought a matter that was concluded by the judge that they were making an attempt to pervert the course of justice. So look at it. And we have an attorney general, we've got a solicitor general, and they didn't seek legal advice before they go before the court. It was always political. They know that them a buy time. Them a buy time, waste time, and that's because what you need to also remember, there were attempts by people who reside there to go and pay property tax. Because remember, the law was passed by Portia Simpson within the same time when this matter was brought to court, that if you live on land for a certain time, you've got the legal right to buy it once you have paid tax over a certain period of time. Remember, neighbor? Let us do one. Let us not just...
But by the way, I hear that Mr. Isaac Buchanan is listening, so.
He should listen. He needs to listen. I'm not surprised if after I'm listening, within 2-3 days, we see the constable force coming up the yard with a fake search warrant, as they are accustomed to.
You may get a lawsuit.
Be reminded, I'm not intimidated. I'm a Capricorn. My sign is a mountain goat, and I'm always on the top of the hill. I look down upon them trying to reach where I'm at.
You say Makir? Hold on. You say Makir this lawyer?
Of course he is.
He's a careless lawyer?
Understand? Because only a careless man would instigate scamming up on the state. Because who's back are we endorsing scanning on?
Oh my God. Talk to him then. Hold on. Talk to him then. Me, yes, I'll listen to you. Talk to him.
So Isaac Buchanan, I want you to know this. That as a careless lawyer, it doesn't cut card with Jamaicans and the constituency that you represent. They need effectiveness because they need their life to be productive. And if you've got all the time to be on social media every day, making rant that will endorse criminality and riot in the state, in the capacity of a lawyer, you're not only careless, you're also disgraceful, sir. So if you are listening to me, I need you to know that I am letting you know that you are a disgrace to the Bar Association of Jamaica. And that's what I need you to know. Yes, thank you. So, neighbor, let us focus on what this man does. This man...
Hold on. I get you a message right for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hear him say if you're bad, repeat it.
I will repeat what I just said.
Repeat it.
I said you are a careless liar, and it reached to the stage that you are a disgrace to the Bar Association of Jamaica. The sad part is, Isaac, you have been a criminal who have been convicted, went to prison for drugs. You have motivated yourself to become a liar. You should be a motivational speaker. Instead, you are a corruption to society. So if you want me to add more to it, I've got a lot more that I can let you know. So keep listening and you might be deaf tonight. You see, neighbor, I'm an independent Jamaican.
Oh gosh.
I support the policy of the Jamaica Labour Party. You understand?
I hear you.
The policy of the Labour Party is what is lifting people from poverty to prosperity. It is what is making the diaspora thinking about coming home. It is what is making people want to come claim their land and then say them have use feet now. It is why we are in this situation. Because when good one, because PNP never did have this straight note and organized, it was always chaka. When law and order...
Hold on there. Isaac Say want to say something to you. Listen.
Something magical for all of them. Because you see the Prime Minister, I'm have to lift up for some house. And I'm have to give you And when him put him plaque on the house, then when I give him back. Rip it off when you're done, because if them not give him back house, Tova can win down there. Right now, anyone should have beer twep.
Well, that seems up.
You know why I'm saying beer twep?
Yes.
Because they know that it's a politically motivated thing, they are thinking that Cobra Hamilton has shit up herself now. So the Prime Minister go call this emergency cabinet meeting if we try to rectify things, because we can't make this thing a drag on. Brother, there is a process and there is a procedure, and it has begun. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security have made mention that today that social worker has been dispatched to process the needs and the necessities of these people, other than the emergency aid that is now presented. We are talking about to move forward.
Yeah.
So the government.
By the way, hold on there. I get a message say someone is screen recording you, and if you're bad, you repeat it what you say about ISAT.
You can play it like I know you're recording.
No, I would. Just say it again, because you don't say nothing bad.
Isaac Buchanan is a careless liar, and is a disgrace to the Bar Association of Jamaica.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know what them have fussed themselves about. That is not a libelous comment.
No.
That is not a libelous.
And I will say it again.
Yeah, say it again.
In the fact that he has been a criminal
who
have served time in prison and are sent to the bar, he should be a motivational speaker, but instead he's endorsing criminality and riot in our society. It's a disgrace.
Well, yeah.
Embarrassment.
Yes. You think that he is endorsing criminality, by suggesting that
you are gonna tell people that they should come up with one Bedford TV if they don't lose nothing and chop it line. That's criminality.
Oh my God.
That's criminality. That is criminality. That's thief. Because and who them I look for up? Taxpayer as it's their custom. It is the custom of the People's National Party to deprive Jamaica of their hard-earning tax money, and them can't see what them are pay tax for. And this government can let people see that there is value in paying your taxes. People who retire years ago never did get the good pension. Start to get good pension so they can pay their JPS light bill out of their pension and still can buy food. That wasn't the case when Portia Simpson Miller left the office. You hear me, Mr. Neighbor?
Yes, I listen to you.
Government that people can be able to know that them can left university, high school, and can immediately get a job. It is this government who let people know that youth when they're on the corner, they've got hope, because we have art now who administer them where they can learn a skill and improve their income and have a livelihood in this country where you can raise family and live in peace and harmony. It is this administration, Andrew Wallace, who have let Jamaica recognize that we now have left Jamaica again. And if you live a foreign, you can't come back home now. This is what the People's National Party doesn't like. So as I said to you, neighbor, they are a 9-day wonder party. As something come up, them jump on it and politicize it, and you will always see it because I've studied them. They are an open book. They are not hard to read unless you can't read. You don't know what them up to. PPs like that, neighbor. Them not hard to read. Their approach to everything is always the same. They either lie about it, they either try to bring down people in it, but what you don't realize, neighbor, the same prime minister that said that if you play by the rules, you get shafted, are the same people them tell you, say, if you not play by the rules, you will be embarrassed too. Say, you understand? Because that's basically what happens to these people in Cooper's Pen. They did not play by the rules. Neighbor, have you heard about the figure of money that these people say that they have lost? And you still live on people's property?
No, sir.
The money where them selling loose, none of them could have paid at least 5-year lease. Because lease no expensive, neighbor. And then you could have erect something on it. Remember saying, no, at the board structure, then them broke down, you know. So you could have a lease somewhere and build somewhere else, but you don't feel like it's a Cooper's Pen a few, no. So no one stand there. Let us not entrap separate humanity with law. The law was enforced. Their humanity was, I didn't agree with the approach. And the reason why I say that, you can't go buck down people 3 o'clock in the morning. Even though were given ample time, them for left. But it goes to show your neighbor that the PNP want to have a talking point. The superintendent never consulted the member of parliament for him to know. She was called 6 o'clock to tell about the action that is taking place. And that's when she moved. Notice, it was the same thing that happened with Desmond Mackenzie. Think about it. How early the Jamaica Labour Party member of parliament then get up? Always up and on the beat. Have you ever seen a PNP out early, bright and early in a them constituency, no matter what there? Think about it.
I have to give fourth term PM a little time. Yes. Hold on there for me. Yes. Fourth term. Fourth term. Hello.
Good night, neighbor.
Hey, Mr. Vegas, how are you, man?
Yeah, man, just come off my work, you know.
Well, sir. You haven't been here since your name appeared in our news that you are going to be awarded with a Medal of Honor this year. Congratulations to you, sir.
Right. Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, we should talk about that sometime, but I'm sure that's not why you're here tonight.
Yeah, well, I just come in and hear the conversation, you know, and yeah. And then listen to the gentleman.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Your perspective on the subject that is at hand, especially comments made by Mr. Buchanan.
The People's National Party is so desperate. They're desperately seeking to, by any means, to run this country or to govern this country. So everything Mark Golding and the surrogates them and the followers them, they are the leader, the inept leader. They're gonna do this. They're gonna find everything, they're gonna exploit everything. It is printed in his DNA to be an exploiter, so he can't help himself. He must exploit everything. And then the people like this man when I talk about now, he has to follow suit and go out there and say all of these things, these disgusting things. Because of course, if you have a criminal record and you still feel as if society has not accepted you and has not laid red carpet for you to walk on every time you step out, you still think that people are looking at you sideways, then you're going to do everything, you're going to try all kind of histrionics, to get people to rate you and rave about you and give all the appreciation that you think you deserve. All the credit that you deserve from any case that you've been a part of. You want people to just worship you. And that is the biggest problem here. So it's just histrionics. Is a personality disorder that this person is suffering from. He just cannot, he's not satisfied. He want a seat, and is that's not enough. We still not accept him. You notice every time we talk, he say, yo, me this and me that, and me this and me that, and me do this and me do that. It's always me. And he's still mad that some of us reject him and what he did in the past. You see, because I believe everybody must get second chance or chances or whatever. But I still believe that if you do something so so damning, like smuggling, white lady would destroy, people. I think you should at least hold some blame. I think you're supposed to hold some responsibility. But up to this day, is like is acting victim. Like yeah man, I was a victim and people just understand someone was a youth and that. Because me a big top man now, so if you just forget that. But every time he opens his mouth, he just shows you he's not a changed man. You see? He's just not a changed man, he's just a bitter person, he's just a bitter individual who wants to be accepted by the society. I was minding my own business, I was talking on politics, and he put Vegas we speaking on politics when I have no competence. And I was like, yo, where that come from? Yeah. You see what I say? And the next time he put out, I said, don't clown out yourself like Vegas. And I was even looking at this man. So I don't tell him a long time, so this man I just You know, it's just a diva. It's just a big diva.
A diva.
You see? Because when you can be, notice the things that it's like shock and awe. It's like, you know, let me tell you something. You have some people, you know, when they don't realize it, that way they know the lane we're in, you're a leader. You're doing very well there. You go to school, you educate yourself, and you become that person. That thing that you become. Be the best at it. No. Some people want to turn artists, you know. Some people want to turn artists and then feel like, say, yo, me have to be an artist and I have to be something else. You see? If you just be the best at what you just, me know some is a, some people may say great, some people may say good. Me know some go up on stage, me a performer when they might book me again. I try to be the best at that. Anything else, we may go tap into come after.
Yes.
Unless I decide say I'm done with music and I go venture into something else. But this man is like, you know, appreciates it. He can appreciate himself and why we appreciate it. How is it that you can't appreciate yourself and why we appreciate you? Because when you come out and I tell people, say, if you go broke off something, I go claim something from the government, then who's that? What is that you're telling people to do? To commit fraud. Why? Because you feel as if because you have a criminal record or you had a criminal record because you must be expunged. You feel like, say, oh, everybody have one too. And that way, you know, you can hold up your head high and you can pull back your shoulder and look like you and act like you don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. You know, so nobody can come talk about that. So you know, everybody if you have a criminal record, so what are we? For just, you know, the government, everybody for just allow people, make them break rules, break laws, you know, because we have somebody now as soon as a man get charged for illegal firearm. A man get charged for analyzing somebody. We have somebody will run out and say, yeah, and they're going to defend you, You understand the message? So everybody just break all the rules, break all laws, because guess what? It's humanity we are dealing with. So yeah, poor people, them supposed to rob, yeah, because they must suffer. And we make them suffer, and the government make them suffer, and our system make them suffer. So guess what? Everybody just start go around and just rob people house, rob people shop, and just justify that with, oh, poor. And we have somebody to defend with. We don't have to follow the rules, we don't have to follow the laws, because guess what? How the system do this to it, how the system do this to it. So me must work, just come off a stage, yeah, jump up and down, run up and down, flying up in all over the world, leave resources in my youth them, and people just come take it, and then me have a lawyer say, oh, nobody not for ray, nobody not for follow no rules, nobody not for go through no process, nobody not for go through the required documents and for get, you know, possession and land and them something there, brother. You just go up on people and you just build. I just go have some picnic, and when they come and the people them want them land and they decide so they go get you off of them land, they just show the picnic them and say, yo, see the picnic them here, they wicked to the picnic them, and everybody just know say, you know what, we're not gonna remember say people work hard to buy them things. We're not gonna remember that. We're not gonna remember that. Because people are afraid to say it now. Because if it's that now, people want to beat you. People want to beat you. People want to cancel you. They say, yo, understand, say, yo, the youth them now not to do things. But guess what? We can't preach and tell people, say, I can't make people feel as if, oh, you can't just go take people things. And then the society, them want to live in a...
That's true.
I don't want to live and invest in that society. Maybe I don't want to live and invest in a society when we put up an infrastructure right here, so, and a man just can't come take a piece of property next door and a fee one. No infrastructure, no sewage, no water, no electricity, not at all.
In other words, property rights are also rights. And property owners have rights too to their property.
Neighbor, I want to point you to something.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, the shadow minister from housing, yeah, look at the speech that he sent out. Government should relax all the requirements to prove, say, your land.
Oh my.
Just look at it, just look at the timing. They want to not go through, make people go through the process that them have now. When people are, you know, so what their man in the 50, I try 50 acre land.
And he had title for it?
Yeah, man, I try to sell me 50 acre land. And them show me everything. Them have a subdivision plan, everything, man. Show me land, everything, and railway, and a woman there on the phone. Last week, all of them here, me chop all of them here. And one of the person who try to sell me the land is a person who was in government. I'm linked about it.
Oh, he said to me.
So what if I did not? What if the government did relax all the requirements them to prove say your land? Me not go buy 50 acre land, neighbor, and get chopped.
Oh my God.
Is a farmer politician. Link me. Come on, see him see me and do my little thing. Him think say he can catch me. But through me use lawyer to do all of my business. I not cut no line. Me not chop no line to do my business. So when them send for my files, everything clean. Can them send for my files, you know?
Oh? What you saying to me?
Because they want to know who I mean business.
What you say?
But that's one different story.
Uh-huh.
But what I'm saying to you, I'm neighbor. What if when me I said to makes a 50 acre land and the people have all the design and the title and everything, and all the lawyer call, the woman lawyer call me, everything, we're going to meet 50 acre land. And me I say, what? I goal this. So the government did relax all the requirements then, all the procedures that you have to go through to prove say is your land. We would have get chopped, and that the PMP advocate for, because the PMP know that this they can use and brainwash the people them and get vote from the people them, and that them want put that the people them head. So listen to me, any land you're depend, I don't know, we will get to know tiger feet. We will get to know. We will get to know to take people and like back in the days when Michael Manley tell them say, yo, if our Michael Manley must have said something and them read it wrong because people say that Michael Manley say no, but they just thought Michael Manley say, yo, you can't take people things. And
yeah.
What's the problem? You know?
Yeah. Let me ask you to comment on something. Yeah. Let me ask you to comment on something. Vegas, the Jamaica Labour Party today put out a thing condemning lies being told by PNP bloggers, and the party named Andre Stevens, Dre Bryan, Marvin Little Fire, and Durval. It occurred to me, Vegas, that the influence that bloggers now have is being acknowledged as something that is deleterious or dangerous to the society. What you make of the Labour Party having to put out a statement condemning these bloggers?
I just sorry say them call the vermins them name. I sorry say.
They shouldn't call them name.
Because you see, when they call the vermins them name, they must say, you know, some people take insult for invitation, you know.
Ah.
Remember, say some people just look their attention in a neighbor.
Oh, this is attention for them.
Them brother, come on, man. Remember, say them people are trying to get every. When I see all marches go talk about some people, me I say, yo, a fan base, we not build for them.
Oh my God.
This is a build them support.
I never saw that, you know. Wow.
Listen to me.
Very good.
These people,
that's a very good point,
were promised $1 billion to go around and take and disinformation. Understand that. These people, all I come in, they want to get rid of me, they don't want me to go on the internet. They don't want me to talk. So if them can come forward and tell us then go all a sea bottom and talk about them because if people are sea bottom and people are still follow them, they don't know to the society gone to that. You know, see them telling people and say they go a sea, then live a sea.
I was shocked. I heard it.
Them admit to the people, to the homophobic society of Jamaica, say them live in a sea bottom.
I agreed. I heard it.
And they want to mix up straight people in them sea life.
Oh my God.
But the fact that Jamaican people still each up under them pays 20 and 30,000 of them an item and 10,000 of them an item. It's true, our society gone to the dark.
That is true. That is true, sir.
Because one time nobody now go on the platform if you're a man say see but I come from.
And you admit it. Yes. Shocking. Shocking, sir.
Because they will do anything or say anything to get the attention. You have to understand that, neighbor. So when the Jamaica Labour Party put out statement and name them, I whosoever do it, I don't agree with that. You just left them in the water, make them go and swim around. They swam around.
Oh God.
The last election and think they were going to get $1 billion. Andrew in a third term. Make them go and swim by themselves.
Yes. And them mix up straight people here. In order for them to be accepted, they must make people think the other people are like them. Yes, boy, I tell you.
You never realize that.
You're the best, Vegas. No wonder why you have to get a national award.
Neighbor, if you know the neighbor, if you're a thief.
Yes.
And people are like thief. And we can't say neighbor thief. Whoever knows them like neighbor. Then nobody can write with thief.
Oh, this is funny, it is really fantastic. Yeah, I tell you. Anyway, but the wider picture though, the wider question though, Vegas, in the fact that the blogging community now has become quite an influential community on both sides.
Listen to me.
Neighbor, yes.
I have faith in the sensible Jamaican people.
Yes.
Die-hearted, I will be die-hearted. Them I go vote. Not regardless.
Yes.
And one of my brothers said to me today, listen to me. You have die-hearted Labour and die-hearted PMP. Them I go vote Labour and PMP no matter what. But you see the people in the middle, may have confidence in them. And what I am seeing on social media, all them want beef, you don't know how we talk, say people not to take what people things. You must go about it the right way.
Yes.
Yeah? Don't make it have to get to this way. Pick me up out that door in a cool, in a night here. The sensible people in our society, we want a decent society, a safe society, a them in the middle. And the PMP cannot get them with this behavior. Just remember me telling that. The PMP thinks a little ticky them where I run around and make up nice internet for them. And some little fool people where I run around and table. Government picking on you. Then the people if them have a vote, they have a vote regardless. Look at the intelligent people who are speaking on this matter. Just listen to the intelligent people and who are in the middle, the intelligent class. And them in the middle. They don't want a society where when them work hard and buy them properties, somebody can just go take it through them live a foreign.
True.
Or through them let give them picnic. Or through them go study 4 and 5 years at college and come back their land gone. The people who Andrew Wilness is grabbing are the people when you say if them leave go to university for 4 years and they buy one piece of land. Then when they come back, they're not seeing no house on it because the laws them are protect the people of the land. We no only have law for poor people. Me grew up in a board house. Me never have electricity. Me never have inside bathroom. Me never. Some people are going to say we never suffer too. My mother, when she lived at Kingston and she realized that she can't make ends meet because my father Roman, right? And my mother couldn't make ends meet with him. My mother pack up and truck with him. I remember my little boy go up in that truck back. And we go all the way one place named Pigeon Valley, upper Unity, upper past Lawrence and go. And my mother go rent to a whole board house with one cellar. And every time you have to cross and go way over one place near Glengap go pay the rent. And my mother she used to wash people close to pay that the rent, the brother. You hear me say? My mother never go just see piece of land and just go build up some infrastructure on it. She moved to a country. And she teach herself to work hard. And that she teach her, them things that she instilled in me and my sibling. To work hard. Because we see how she had it hard. And when I pray and say, me just want one song for the lady to stop washing people clothes. One song. God give me a whole catalog. My mother never go take up people things.
And then come talk about, yo, I want 1.5 million me just spending up, yo, I want to know. When I come talk about show and right. Like, come on, Reggie, come on, people. Come on, man. You better your humble and make people try to help you. We don't need a society that neighbor in a business, no PMP, no JLP, nothing. We do not need a society where people believe they can just take people things and bad up people. We don't need a society then. Make we have a different conversation about how it was enacted, how the thing, whatever. Make we find ways of condemn that. 3 o'clock in the morning, lack of people, make we condemn that. But let us also stay neutral on the situation of going around and taking private people property.
Yeah, in other words, this cannot be an emotional discussion. It has to transcend the emotionalism involved.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the point I wanted to make earlier.
Has no say in this. Mark only need to keep my mouth and go sit on one side. Because when they wanted to remove the Mona squatters people, they might relocate them in a film area. Everybody got demonstrated against it.
Yes.
So all of a sudden him love squatters.
Yes. And he came out today talking about
several seats.
Yeah.
Now he's talking about lawsuit for people who are saying he's tied to the situation. Listen to me. You promised $1 billion to people on TikTok who were maligning the Prime Minister name and the Speaker of the House, and everybody then could get them hands on. And you all embraced them. You all gave them hotel to enjoy. After on lose the election, that them start war. Some of them get hotel, and some of them never get money, and some of them are write letter. Some of them when they are sea bottom write letter don't sea bottom no one say them take pay because of them make Portland turn up. So listen to me. You embrace all of these people who are going around telling lies on the Prime Minister. And that once you put out a statement and say, we don't need to stop that something here. But now somebody, boom, and call your name for something where you claim to no go, so you put up and threaten people. Oh, no matter which part of foreign you're doing, we find you.
Now
you want to sue people. And so Andrew feel too, when your vloggers them out here, will not promise $1 billion. And so Andrew feel, when them tell lie on him to say my 3 children up in yard. And so the whole speaker feel when you say she involved in a Melissa death.
Oh. Wow. What a country.
Show me one statement Mark Golden put out condemning those rhetoric from his vloggers.
Yeah. No, none, sir.
When them embrace, and I like them embrace them, and them so them give them $1 billion. So it's not like them embrace them. So they must have seen the contents that they were there putting out. So you want to reward them. But no, you're ball.
Yeah.
You see? So neighbor, save me the fake outrage where people are used to try to score political points. And if them are listening and they want to sue the brethren and call them careless liar, yeah, them careless. So admit to it too. Admit to it lawsuit.
Oh, you will.
Careless liar.
Oh, Lord. You're going to no, spare me.
Disgraceful, careless liar. Admit to it. 2 times drug convicted criminal. Admit to it. Because you have problems with the law and people celebrate you. We don't celebrate decent people. We go to school and get proper education, and people like judge them. We go to school and get proper education, and I go to the right channel, and I try. Jamaican people don't want to celebrate them people there. But as soon as a man go to prison for drugs or analyze somebody and come back and claim say him rehab or him reform, everybody say, yeah man, great to see. No. We need to start celebrating some people who hold the straight line.
Quite true.
We need to start celebrating some people when never get on a problem. We need to celebrate some people like how they must celebrate, judge them now from nation, from nation wide.
Yes, in other words, the acknowledgement of truth, eh? Truth can get you a national award.
We're acting as if it's on when you did rotten. and get back good. Celebrate you. We are celebrating people. We need to start celebrating people. We're not getting out of trouble.
Yeah.
But them just hold the straight line and get a proper education and hold up themselves and bear the hungry and never go rob no store and never go chop no line and never go pick up no gun. We need to start celebrating those people. Jamaican people don't overlook them people too much and say, when do? How when do? But as soon as somebody got chop the line and somebody got prison for analyze somebody or somebody got prison for drugs and come back here, you know, yeah man, I really the money I come from them thing then I look at money I do good. No, what to the man with always I do good. What about the man with always I do good, neighbor?
True.
What about the artists when you get no problem like Agent Sasko them and them we need to big up.
Quite so.
Some man when they pull them police record, you know, say no blemish on it, and them people we need to start big up down society and make youth and you know say you don't have to be no chopper, you don't have to be no shatter, you don't have to be no bad man, you don't have to be no wicked man for people rate you. We need to start rate educated people. And if we start doing that, you want so much done PMP vloggers.
Yeah.
Where people are run back and follow with them nonsense.
Yeah. Quite so, sir.
Big up yourself, bro.
What a space. Take care of yourself. Pick up yourself, Mr. Vegas. A man who has been nominated for a national award. He will get that award at the Heroes Day celebrations in October, along with many others, including George Davis and Kevin O'Brien Chang and many others. Congratulations, Mr. Vegas, and we're very proud of you, sir. Very proud of you, and what a story you have there about your mother, and you know, the struggles of your youth, and you have done well with your career, and philanthropic work, educated, artist, you know, patriot, standing up for his country, you know, risking his career. Okay. I see the listener saying I'm to pull up Mr. Matsik, but I'm out of time. Matsik? It's 8:38. I'm giving you 5 minutes to wrap this up.
So Vegas and me tell us Vegas just nail home the coffin and then they nail it and then coffin.
Oh boy.
Yeah, everything with Vegas is true. Mark Golding don't have no moral authority to be an opposition collecting taxpayer money. That is a scam. Mark Golding being opposition leader collecting taxpayer money is a scam now. Because he ain't doing nothing to help the development of the nation or the people them in the country. And it shows in the people them that represents the PNP now in Parliament. You see, remember, you know, the Prime Minister did say one of the good thing about the increase in politician pay was that it will attract the bright minds. And look if I don't bear done so over PNP.
Wow.
Yeah. We feel people like Angela Brown Burke. She don't have no vision to improve her constituency. She will just resign and collect a pension and go do some private work. She might get better pay too. If nobody find her that attractive in the private world. Because after when them doing a public life, they don't think that they would be effective. That is the reason why enough of them in a politics still them great and within 3 years, you know, here I see them. And if you do see them in a wheelchair or them back a limp, you know what make them come down so quick? Because of how they used to deal with people when them in a politics.
Yeah.
Here, they used to wreck them lives. So for them life, in the last minute when they think of relaxation time, them life just go right down the hill as quick as it does. The PNP attract the worst set of people them in governance. And we can't have the worst people them govern Jamaica when it's the best time of our life. You understand what I say?
That's a nice way.
We can't have the worst set of people govern me when it's the best time of our life. We have never seen us in this position, neighbor. Remember, you know, a portion of which GDP have been wiped off. but yet still the government was still able to negotiate with the Confederation of Trade Union and settle the wage agreement with the public sector.
Yes.
Think about that now, man. For the next 10 years, for the next 3 years, sorry, which is a 10% increase they were given. These are the things where the PNP now want to be on the front page.
Yes.
But these are the things that really have effect and improve the lives of Jamaicans, neighbor. And that is why they vote for a government to manage their affairs so the improvements of their life will accelerate. And they can see the benefits of a government that care.
Boy, I tell you something, Matsik. You deserve all the accolades that you're being getting. But we continue this conversation tomorrow.
But you know me always a tune in. Even if me not jump up on the page, me ever listen.
All right.
I just listen to you, listen to me speaker box and I go and make your phone around and I listen to you. Me ever tune in. Every word I want to say me I get it.
Lovely, man.
You get what I'm saying?
Lovely.
We need to know about Jamaica. That Jamaica move forward. Too much development are going.
Yeah.
Enough road left for cut. Enough road left for fix. Enough more house are going to build. Enough more hospital are going to improve. Enough more health care are going to. You hear what me I say?
I'm gonna give the Labour Party a little advice. You see conference coming up in November. They must give you 20 minutes at conference to talk to Labour rep.
We don't need so much for rally crowd in on here.
No.
We need just 10 minutes.
No, man, they must put
10
you.
minutes we can rally crowd.
You can rally, yeah. 10 minutes. They are bigger to do. Make Matsik come a conference in November. Make him do it.
No, me always did a neighbor. Me always there up front.
But
So
this year, based on how you have broken all records on TikTok, you need to go to conference and speak for 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
I said where me come from.
Unscripted, and I'll be there to cover it for you.
Neighbor, I said where we come from. I said we're full of talent here.
I know that.
Never forget that.
I thank you, sir. Take care of yourself.
I thank you very much, and I thank you to your listener, and bless for those who are follow. Keep the following button, people, going, because we have nothing to do. We have nothing to do.
8 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you. YouTube, what a wonderful show. I'm going to have to run now, though. You hear? Thank you for tuning in. We have more to say on this Cooper's Pen demolition. We have more to say on it tomorrow. Tomorrow, Thursday, is Talk Your Mind. So tomorrow, we are going to open the lines to the callers to come up and talk their minds. Those of you who never get a chance to come up tonight, tomorrow is your night. Thursday, Talk Your Mind Thursday, right here on Politics Matter JA with your neighbor Ann Caroline. She's on the other side of the line and she's always here with us. Until we join you tomorrow, YouTube, take good care of yourselves. And please also remember that you are to subscribe to the channel, like the channel. Let me check out what's happening up on the YouTube line here. Have you liked the channel? Have you subscribed? Politics Matter. Politics Matter JA. Have you subscribed? And of course, do not leave without check out what's happening up on the YouTube line here. That's the replay. That's the replay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Lots of chats. Lots of watchers. Oh my goodness! Look at what is happening here. Please subscribe to the channel, like the channel, and do not leave the show without leaving a gift. A heart me, a rose, something. Leave something, or you can send a contribution to the Zelle account. The number is going across your screen there right now. 954-635-8732. 954-635-8732. That's your support to keep the program going. So until we join you tomorrow, thank you so much and take care. Okay, bye-bye.